All right, Ravenites, welcome back to a fresh episode of the Ravencoin Development Community Update number 9. The last time I did a Ravencoin Development Update was on January 3rd, 2022. So at the beginning of this year, and it's been a few months since then. So just a review for the new people in Ravencoin that or people that are just curious of what Ravencoin is. We're just going to go over it real quick. First of all, I am your host, Blockchain John. I've been in crypto since around like 2010, 2012. Just been tinkering with it, but now I'm all in, man. I'm a diamond hands. I'm a hodler, and I love messing with blockchain technology. My favorite is the Ravencoin blockchain. It is community driven. There is nobody really behind it other than the community just making it work, right? It's an amazing piece of technology. Um, so here we go. Ravencoin. If you go to the ravencoin.org website, you'll find some information in regards to what Ravencoin is. Ravencoin is a peer-to-peer blockchain handling the efficient creation and transfer of assets from one party to another. If you go down their website, you'll see you can easily get your wallet from there. There's a Ravencoin wiki, the Ravencoin Foundation link, and the Ravencoin dashboard if you want. There's a bunch more information here. Welcome to Ravencoin. Ravencoin is a protocol based on a fork of Bitcoin code, which adds features specifically focused on allowing tokens to be issued on the Ravencoin blockchain. These tokens can have whatever properties the issue of the token decides. So they can be limited in quantity, named, and be issued as securities or as collectibles. You can make them your own security tokens within minutes and have it trade worldwide. Beautiful piece of technology. Okay. Here's a couple of projects representing. You can create. You can put gold bars, silver coins, physical euros, land deeds, DC comics, energy credits. Wood, gas, oil, wind. What makes Ravencoin different from Bitcoin? The block reward is 5,000 Raven instead of 50. Now it's actually it just had its halving at the beginning of the year when I did the last Ravencoin development update. They just had their halving, so now it's down to 2,500 Ravencoin. Block time is still 1 minute instead of 10 minutes compared to Bitcoin. The total coin supply is 21 billion instead of 21 million, as in Bitcoin. The new mining algorithm is Kapow, which allows for more decentralized mining, which is a beautiful piece of technology. Okay. Addition of assets and sub-asset issuance transfers unique assets and rewards. So this was added on shortly after, where you can create your assets and sub-assets directly from the UTXO functionality of a Ravencoin, which is a beautiful piece of thing. You don't need smart contracts, all right? Smart contracts are all bad, in my opinion. If you can't code it into the direct hard code of the blockchain, then you're putting a lot at risk. Okay, so the UTXO, beautiful thing. Unless the whole blockchain goes down, which I don't think that's going to happen. All right, the future edition of messaging and voting. It's coming out soon. It's in the works right now. Okay, you can get involved today. This is all community based. You can go to different exchanges. Here's a bunch of exchanges: BitTrue, Binance, Change Angel, Challenge, OKX, Probit, Upbeat, Unicorn X. Okay. Now, there's more links down below. You can check those out. They got a Facebook, Medium, Reddit, Telegram, Discord, Bitcoin Talk, and Ravencoin meetups. Okay. All right. Now, let's switch over to the Ravencoin wiki. Let's see the latest news. Ravencoin upgraded to version 4.3.1 on August 2020. When updating, make sure you have backed up your wallet.dat file. Are you unsure or do you encounter issues when upgrading? Please use the help channel in the Ravencoin community Discord channel. Okay, so Ravencoin is a project built on a code fork of Bitcoin version 0.15.99. Ravencoin barely launched on the 3rd of January 2018 without ICO, pre-mine, or masternodes, and was announced by Bruce Fenton on Twitter. Ravencoin is focused on building open source technology and has a strong and growing community. Ravencoin aims to implement simple issuance and management of tradable assets on a blockchain. To avoid centralized ASICs mining on Ravencoin, the developers created a new algorithm, X16R. What made X16R unique is the changing order of 16 hashing algorithms based on the hash of the previous blocks. This random reordering of hashing algorithm made it temporarily resistant to mining ASICs. However, it became evident that X16R ASICs were developed and mining Ravencoin in July 2019. In response, X16R was adapted with a small modifications to the X16R v2. This adaptation involved adding an extra hashing algorithm to 3 of the 16 existing ones, as X16RR v2 was only temporarily effective. The developer community made more drastic algorithm changes to prevent ASICs from dominating mining on the Ravencoin network and moved to Kapow. Kapow is a derivative of ProgPow with parameters specifically for Ravencoin. The core team has produced a roadmap with a development plan of 7 phases. The roadmap for the code development was published and on the project's GitHub on the 3rd of April 2018. The white paper describing the background and intention of the project was published on the same date of the Ravencoin.org, and Bruce Fenton posted a Twitter thread summarizing some key points of the white paper and growth of the project to date. At the time of launch, the core team was funded by Medici Ventures, who are owned by Overstock.com. Patrick Bryan, former CEO of Overstock, talks about Ravencoin in this Business Insider interview. A collection of interviews with Tron Black, lead developer, Patrick Bryan, and Bruce Fenton is available here. Okay, so let's see. Ravencoin asset support since launch the 5th of November 2018. Here's a bunch of data, yada, yada, yada. Okay, you guys can check that out if you want. And that's at the Ravencoin, the Raven.wiki. Okay, let's move on over to the Ravencoin Foundation. You can go to ravencoin.foundation. Helping Ravencoin soar. The Ravencoin Foundation is not Ravencoin. Ravencoin is open source software that volunteers to create a network of nodes that construct a massively replicated blockchain-based ledger for Raven and for any other asset tokens that get created by the network users. The Ravencoin Foundation is a non-profit organization that endeavors to assist and protect the Ravencoin open source project. It also provides a legal entity that can hold and distribute development funds, apply for signing keys and certificates, hold app stored accounts, run Ravencoin explorers, run seed nodes, connect community members, and communicate a shared vision for the project. Now here's our donation address, RVM93, yada, yada, yada. There are a bunch of resources here, stablecoin proposals. There's a couple proposals there if you guys want to check those out. Ravencoin development proposal with bounties. If you want to check out their accounting information, you can go there because Ravencoin Foundation is a nonprofit organization. Get Ravencoin Foundation updates by email. There you go. View updates. They have a blog. Board meeting minutes. If you guys want to review the monthly meeting minutes, you guys can do that. If you guys want to check out the code, they have a little link here that's code security audit. You guys can do that yourself. And there's a bunch of ways you can interact with Ravencoin. You can download download on Windows, Mac, Linux, iOS, Android, a bunch of different wallets. The Ravencoin Core, of course, the Qt. You can use the Mango Farm wallets or Zelcore, Steebits, and Ravencoin wallets, Atomic Wallet, Kobo Wallet, Decent, Dove, and a bunch of more participants, Discord, Telegram, Facebook. You can buy Ravencoin on Binance, Binance US, T0. Let's see, trade it, swap it. There's a bunch of pools, Miner More, 2 miners, Blocksmith, Raven Miner, Supernova, Nanopool, a bunch of different sites you guys can check out. Braveland, Ravencoin Timeline, the Korean website, ravencoin.org, Blockchain Tiger, NFTs, Raven Bay, Just NFTs, RVNFT Art, Nifty Synth, Blockdog, Raven Trader Asset, Ravenist. Learn about it. White paper, roadmaps, developers, Ravencoin GitHub. You gotta check that out. Rosetta API. That's in order to get started on Coinbase. You have to be able to use that code. Explorers, Block Explorers, Cryptoscope. Let's see, Blockbook Explorer, Awareness, Marketing Kit. If you guys want to get some marketing tools for Ravencoin, you guys can easily go here to Marketing Kit, our shop for Ravencoin stuff. There's also a YouTube channel here. All right, now let's move over to what we originally came here for, which was for the meeting. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can scroll all the way back to my last meeting, which was back in January. Now, I'm having a little issues with my internet, so hopefully nothing gets too wonky out here. But yeah, I'm going to take a good while and get us all updated to what's been going on. Always back to literally the beginning of the year. So I'm gonna do about a good 90 days worth of talks here on this this video. Wow. Let's see here. Scroll on back some more. Wow, there's a lot of talks. This is gonna take a while. Hopefully I got enough water. Wow. Doesn't stop, does it? Here we go. We're getting closer. We're on January 14th. Still scrolling. Oh man, this is gonna take a long time. Expect to be here for another hour. But the good thing is that within that hour, you get to know exactly what's been going on in 90 days. Instead of living those 90 days, you guys can catch up in 1 hour. Oh, there we go. Okay, so during the holidays, as you guys can see here or listen here, there hasn't been much going on during the holidays because everyone's on holiday. So there was a lot of, I guess, no activity during the holidays. It was like dark days. All right. So December 31st, channel open. Happy New Year's to everybody. Probably a thinly attended again due to holidays. Tron says Happy New Year's to everyone. Cool. And yeah, nothing pretty much happened. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Let's see. Now we're going to switch over to the next meeting on January 7th. Was it the 7th? I thought it was the 3rd. Huh. Maybe I should go back just a little bit, just in case. Let's check out the 31st, okay? So we're going to start on the 31st of December 31st, 2021. Kinkajou, channel open. Sebe, good afternoon and Happy New Year's. Probably a thinly attended again due to holidays. Tron responds, Happy New Year's to everyone. That's supposed to be fireworks, not the COVID virus. Sebi with the sad face, like, LSJ-IO7 responds, hi. He got 2 hi emojis in return. Just wondering if we are looking at the same timescales discussed before still. New binary released early December or January. I haven't been drinking, honest. And you got a smiley emoji for that. Pathfinder waves. You got 2 waves in return. Tron responds, it is more important to get it right out than quickly. If a release candidate is ready for mainnet, it can be released. The foundation is not development, but will sign the Windows binary and help get economic actors and miners to review it and upgrade. He got 2 thumbs up for that. Pathfinder responds, I've been digging into all the different NFTs gated features of the NFTs like BAYC and poolsuite.net. The ability to use an NFT in one's wallet as a pass that lets you into a members only Telegram, Discord, or website is a powerful and growing phenomenon. The NFT gating feature typically leverages either MetaMask or a wallet collect. Would love to see a Ravencoin wallet have such a feature. I think NFTs used as membership tokens will really take off in 2022. Here's tech being used now for NFTs gating in Telegram and Discord. So here's collab.land link there. And Poolsuite is doing cool stuff with NFT gated websites and more in the future. Members.poolsuite.net. Kinkajou responds, just need a browser extension like you said. Scotty has spun up a proof of concept for something similar on Rito a while back. And here's a link to demos.keyvault.app. Pathfinder responds, cool. Kinkajou responds, I think Mango said he was considering work on a browser extension at some point. Pathfinder responds, well, with Wallet Connect, you don't need a browser extension. It's an open protocol you can build into a wallet app. And here's a link, walletconnect.com. Tron responds, I like the idea. I saw it in 2014 from Adam Levine as TCA, token controlled access using Counterparty. They used a slightly different method of validation. They had you sign a string using a private key of address. This is built into Ravencoin Core under file sign message. That proves you own the private keys. Then you just put the token NFT into that address. The site can just verify the address contains the tokens and lets you in. With that said, I'd also like to see a browser plugin like MetaMask that will let you prove your token ownership without an account. He did receive 3 thumbs up for that. Pathfinder responds, also at Tron, let me know via DM in Twitter if there's any traction around a meeting with Swowers in Miami. I'd definitely be in Miami from April 2nd through 16th and would be honored to assist. Tron responds, this could happen if STM folks can make an intro. Pathfinder responds, nice. Seve responds, dope. Tron responds, does anyone know if Key Vault is open source? Kinkajou responds, at Scotty. And that is the end of the conversation for the end of the year of 2021. Now jumping over to 2022. Kinkajou, channel open. Tron responds, hello. Someone _2 responds with a a wavy hand emoji. Kinkajou responds, if no one has anything in particular to discuss, I'd like to draw attention to all the PRs at FDOB has submitted towards the next release. We could use more eyes on the code. I think this is something the Foundation can/should help with if at all possible. Tron responds, if anyone here now or later has C++ experience, we can use help reviewing the source code. Now here's a link, github.com/Raven project/Ravencoin. Tron responds, see you after the happening. And that was the end of that meeting. Now moving on to January 14th. Kinkajou opens the channel. Hello, channel should be open. Seba responds, hello all. Tron responds, hi all. Crawl Verde, hi all. I'm working on a standalone Ledger app because Ledger wants one separate from BTC for assets. We'll likely just be forking from the current BTC app. Feel free to ping me if you'd like to help. Written in C. Serum responds, hi. Crawl Verde responds, also, we got to look more at the github.com/fdobbing/raven/blob/main/testing-4.7.0 test.md. We'll try and check some of those off over the weekend. Kinkajou responds, at Tron, I saw the Foundation posted a $10,000 bounty for mineable assets. Is there an address assigned to this as well so that the community can donate additional funds should they choose to? Linux response to Crawl Verde. We'll try to do some tests on the last version as well, as soon as we get a bit more time. Now, Tron responds to Kinkajou. There isn't currently, but I can make one. Serum's responds to Kinkajou. Yes, I am sure I would not be alone in throwing some Raven towards bounty rewards. Kinkajou responds to Tron. Please do. There are a few of us who have voiced desire to donate already, and I'm sure many more that haven't spoken up yet that would like to contribute. Tron gives a thumbs up emoji to Kinkajou. Linux responds, at Tron, can you details this please? Proposed simple standards for asset metadata viewing in RVN Qt. Tron responds to Linux, I'm not sure what that code is. Could you provide more context? Linux responds, it's in the bounty list. I was looking at the list. Ravencoin.foundation/proposals. Jaraz responds, so with these mineable assets, what's the idea? Miners choose an asset to mine and they get the assets alongside the Raven they mine. Can they mine multiple at the same time? Will a miner get a proportion of all mineable assets? Vincent responds, what will that do to scalability issues? Tron responds, yes, the miner gets a percent of these other assets. They are not inexpensive to create, but it allows projects to get some of their own assets, but also distribute to the miners. Jaraz responds, all of them? At the same time? Tron responds to Vincent, this has to be considered in that there is a Raven burn fee for every block that these additional mined assets are issued in. Jaraz responds, I see. And if some issues such an asset, will they be allocated to a locked address, which then gets siphoned until it's emptied by miners, according to a payout schedule set by the issuer? Vincent responds, can you give a good use case to understand why this is needed? Tron responds, no. The protocol will issue coin-based rewards for the asset. This asset comes into existence during mining. Jaraz responds, but if you are using an address, you can actually see how many are left to mine. Tron responds, there have been companies that want their own token like Raven and will fork Raven, potentially disturbing the mining hashing power. A proposed solution is to allow the tokens to be created and mined on Ravencoin. The rest is making sure that it works in practice and doesn't cause scaling issues or creation of junk tokens that clog the network. WetX is one potential user of the mined tokens, but it would be open to anyone that wants to fairly distribute tokens in lieu of issuing and airdropping. Jaraz responds, so like MCO's mineable coin offering? Tron responds, it is a proposal at this point and not a foregone conclusion. Isn't MCO's the Crypto.com project? Kinkajou responds, yes. Linux responds, It can have some use case in gaming. Tron responds, I didn't know you could create and mine tokens on that. Jaraz responds, oh, I think it's a good idea to give miners a bigger incentive and thus increase in hash, at the same time offering a fair method of coin offerings. Vincent responds, there has been companies that want their own token. Isn't that what Raven is designed to do? Point and click. Create your own token. Question mark. Seber responds, want a proof of work? As we were discussing in the nest, there are probably regulatory motives to have your own token be proof of work. This is a way to accomplish that without forking Raven, as Tron said. Benson responds, probably. I'm sure Tron can explain. Tron responds, it makes the protocol the issuer. I don't know all the legal ramifications, but it does make Raven different than other projects that sell tokens. Duraz responds, I just don't see how forking Raven, and thus making a new blockchain with an asset management system, is solved by a mineable asset with no such capabilities, or do sub-assets that mineable assets solve it. Benson responds, I don't understand why project fairly distributing or miners helps the project unless they create a miner tool that can be bought with the token. Tron responds, the value goes to the miners and not money to a company. Benson responds, so the miners will own miners. I think he's trying to say miners. But he wrote moners. So the miners will own 51% of the project. Tron responds, as soon as you sell tokens, you've satisfied the first question in the Howey test. If you satisfy the other three, it's a security, an investment of money, in a common enterprise with the expectation of profit to be derived from the efforts of others. Seve responds, I like that. Jeez. Seve responds, I think this novel solution is a no-brainer. Remove the lowest hanging fruit from Howey. Jaraz responds, I still would need a tangible example to be able to completely grasp how this would solve a real-world use case, though. Benson responds with a, finger pointing up. Kinkajou responds, agreed. Good for miners, good for users, good for overall network health, assuming cost is significant enough to prevent abuse. Benson responds, don't see how making miners market makers is the best interest of a company and goes against your retail use in the combo kink. Kinkajou responds to Vincent, Tron just told you selling tokens satisfies part of the Howey test. It's a test you do not want to pass in crypto. Vincent responds, doesn't answer the questions. Kinkajou responds to Vincent, it doesn't go against my example at all. It's a different one. You've now been presented with TWO use cases for mineable assets. Tron responds, I also don't want to sell this concept. It's an idea that needs discussion and debate. Vincent responds, none answers the questions well. Jaraz responds to Kinkajou, yes, but how do I explain this to my father-in-law who taught at business school all his life? He will ask, how should one use it? What does it solve? Vincent responds with another finger pointing up. Private companies can sell private investments. No? Question mark. Don't T0 spend a lot of legal work on this? Question mark. And Kinkajou responds to Jaraz. Maybe I want to launch a new tech platform leveraging blockchain/DLT and tokenized economy, but I don't have the resources to launch a new blockchain traditionally. I may have had to go use a smart chain and use centralized smart contracts to my tokens. This can present regulatory issues now or down the line, since the distribution mechanisms would most likely be an airdrop token sale, which, as Tron pointed out, can have regulatory complications. With mineable assets, I can issue my tokens fairly without ever handling them myself. Now, I can build my platform leveraging the strength of the Ravencoin network, but without having gone through the hassle of navigating smart contracts or jumping regulatory hurdles. That was the example I gave Vince. Vince responds, and I asked a bunch of questions about that. We had a combo. Making miners market makers doesn't answer any questions to me. Seems like a miner's money grab. Kinkajou responds, your question has now been answered multiple times. You just don't seem willing/wanting to understand. Vincent responds, yep, or it doesn't. Tron responds, In the U.S., as crazy as it sounds, I am not allowed to tokenize a company and sell fractions of it to thousands of people without following a very expensive set of rules. I'm not a lawyer, but I may be able to create a token that distributes via a protocol so no money is invested, which could be used as a utility token in a project. That token's value would depend on its utility. Jaraz responds to Kinkajous. Do you have any smart contract examples from a group that did not want to raise money themselves with an ICO and work out an idea that gave value to the token so that people wanted to trade them? LSJIO7 jumps into the conversation. Wouldn't the address that made the request still be essentially mining the new mineable assets with the Coinbase simply distributing the rewards to miners and market? My concern would be that whoever made the request to create the mineable asset would still be considered the issuer. Saber responds, but no money changing hands. Benson responds to Tron. When you start selling to thousands of people, you're a security. Saber responds, you need to satisfy all elements of how we to pass it, and you want to fail to be a non-security. Vincent responds, when you are building a biz, you can have dozens of partners. Joe Ross responds, okay, so for example, I build a Filecoin-like system, and the token needed to buy storage is one that is fairly mineable by Ravencoin miners, ? Something like that. Tron responds to LSJIO7, maybe I don't know enough to answer that. Would it be considered like an airdrop? And could an airdrop be done at the second layer to the miners without making any changes to the Ravencoin protocol? ? Vincent responds to Jaraz. Why would they not just accept Raven, mined on Raven network as payment? What would be that benefit? LSJIO7 responds to Tron. I'm not being difficult, just pointing out that the issuer of the mineable asset would likely direct the purpose of the tokens and give it value or purpose so others could also use it. They would have to make it known via IPFS, etc. Otherwise, what's the point? That is a point of attack against the initial issuer. I can see the logic basically gifting the token to the miners, but someone created the asset with a purpose and would give them some value. Jaraz responds to himself. Apparently, if you look at it like that, you actually give mining Ravencoin extra utilities, other than making assets. Vincent responds to Jaraz as part of a private enterprise. Vincent responds to Jaraz again. Raven has a brilliant design. Not sure why we would need this as more. What does the decentralized chain mining private company do for the decentralized aspect? ? Tron responds, I don't think it changes the decentralized aspect. One concern is that it complicates the mining pool, or the mining pool that don't put in the effort, development, to distribute the other tokens are at a disadvantage. LSJIO7 responds, this works both ways. If someone does a mineable asset and scams their users somehow, that would affect the reputation of Ravencoin. We allowed it. And I'm not saying we shouldn't do it, just that we became responsible for changing to allow it, good and bad. Seve jumps into the conversation. Every chain will have its scams, symptom of success. LSJIO7 responds to Tron. We can currently easily airdrop tokens to users, no changes required, or to miners. Jaraz responds, pools needed to adapt. When Ravencoin started, they had to build that stuff from scratch too, and their incentive is getting a piece of the mineable asset cake. Kinkajou responds to Vincent, we don't really need anything, but Ravencoin was built for assets, and this is an additional asset feature that adds unique utility to Raven that no proof-of-stake chain could compete with. Ravencoin is a software platform. We need to continue to innovate. Vincent responds, BTC Code have built an asset layer. Keep it simple. Jaraz responds, and I'm pretty sure that miners will jump on the pool that give them the most stuff. Vincent responds, this should be a fork if anything. Kinkajou responds, and for some reason you seem intent on denying miners incentive, which frankly is just stupid since miners secure our network. Anything we can do to further incentivize mining Ravencoin will only strengthen the network. Tron responds to Jaraz, which has the potential risk of centralizing mining to those pools. Jaraz responds to Tron, how is it any different than launching X16R? Someone made a GPU miner and shortly was the only one. LSJIO7 responds, we can innovate. Just need to be sure about changing the consensus. As I see it, we currently don't need to. Miners could simply be issued a token for whatever purpose an issuer likes. Jaraz responds, someone makes a pool, etc. Someone underscore 2. Is there a write up on it for a layperson? Or something somewhere that it explains it with more context. Sever response, Medium article. Yeah. Vincent responds, the chain should not partner with business. Jaraz responds with a link to the Ravencoin mineable assets and grafted POW. Vincent responds, they can create an asset and manage it without the miners involved. Kinkajou responds to LSJIO7, sure, but that's not a regular built-in incentive that would bring miners to our network in the same fashion. Plus, we need SegWit still, so why not just fork these in at the same time? We certainly will need another hard fork eventually. Jaraz responds to Kinkajou, make an extra bounty proposal. Speaking of, we should also have to fundraise to have a part-time dev that manages the Git, handling of PRs, change notes, etc. LSJIO7 responds, we haven't got P2SH sorted and coded ready to go on mainnet yet. This is much larger concern than the next fork at the moment, respectfully. Jaraz's response to LSJIO7 relates directly to my line above. LSJIO7 responds to Jaraz, true. Someone underscore 2 responds, I'm still trying to wrap my head around the mineable asset items. I am somewhat seeing it from Vincent's viewpoint and also from a few different. In some ways it sounds bad, but it seems like more context needs to be given that show that Raven would not be too tied into a company issuing the mineable asset. Hans Schmidt jumps into the conversation. I'm about halfway done with reviewing all of the new PRs and improving or commenting. I expect to catch up to date in the coming week. He got 8 thumbs up emojis for that. Kinkajou responds to LSJIO7. I believe all the coding is done, just waiting on review/release. And we obviously haven't stopped posting bounties, so it's not unreasonable to assume someone may continue building new features for Ravencoin in the meantime. Tron responds, I would contribute to fund for Hans to continue hopping Raven code. Excuse me. LSJIO7 responds, Hans Schmidt, thank you. We just need people like yourself and the others reviewing devs to have more help. Jaraz's response to Tron was about to say. Kinkajou responds, I would also contribute to Hans' fund. Hans Schmidt responds to Tron, thank you very much, but not necessary at this time. LSJIO7 responds, we can respect that, but if that changes, let us know. Life happens. At Hans Schmidt. Tron responds, at least know that you have our gratitude. At Hans Schmidt. Kinkajou responds, oh, I almost dropped my phone. Kinkajou responds, I would also contribute to at FDOB and at Hyperpeak Fund. Hans Schmidt responds, this project still has the best founding principles in my honest opinion. It's just challenging figuring out how to compete for developer interest with all this new mega funded DeFi projects. As for the P2SH release, at some point there just has to be community consensus to release. We don't necessarily need all of the newest PRs. Tron responds to Hans Schmidt, agreed. In some ways it is a safe place to be. And if the crypto space spurred by more funding, more DeFi, and more money keeps rapidly growing, then Ravencoin is a part of the rising tide lifts all boats. If there is a government crackdown on DeFi staking and projects that were launched incorrectly and considered securities, then Ravencoin founding principle will make it thrive in a hostile environment. You got 100% emojis for that. LSJIO7 responds, what scary What's scary is when others realize DeFi is not at all cracked up to be. We may have others' problems to deal with when devs put their new skills to use in attacking the survivors. One problem at a time. Tron responds, "I am a fan of DeFi, but I don't know if I'll be allowed to continue. It doesn't have whoa. Hold on. I just reset it. I gotta go back up. My whole browser just reset back to current date. Give me a second here. Let's see. Where were we at? We were at January still, huh? January 14th. Oh no, it's not loading. It's not loading. Okay, back. We're on February. Keep going. February 11th. I think we're still in January. Let's go back up. Keep going. Conspiracy. What happened? Now I can't see anything. What is going on here? Come on. There we go. Come on. Almost there. Okay, we're on January 28th. Almost there. It's taking forever to load. I apologize. Okay, here we go. All right, now where were we? So LSJIO7 responds, "What's scary is when others realize DeFi is not all up cracked to be. We may well have other problems to deal with when the devs put their new skills to use in attacking the survivors. One problem at a time, eh?" Trump responds to LSJIO7, "I am a fan of DeFi, but I don't know if it will be allowed to continue. If it doesn't have the same survival properties as BTC or Raven, only toes in. I did a med talk for Medici Ventures and dipped my toes into being a DeFi LP to learn about the tech. It works great, but the fees on ETH make it impractical now to just dip your toes in. The fees to get in and out will wipe out any gains unless you're playing with hundreds of thousands of dollars. That may not be true on other platforms." Hans Schmidt responds, 2021. There have been more than 20 hacks this year where a digital robber stole at least $10 million in digital currencies from a crypto exchange or project. In at least 6 cases, hackers stole more than $100 million according to data compiled by NBC News. And here's a link to the NBCnews.com discussion or news link. Does anyone else think that Ethereum-style smart contract-based DeFi is totally failing in the security requirements? Hans Schmidt responds to, Kinkajou responds to Hans Schmidt, "Absolutely. A few potentially catastrophic hacks were only avoided because a white hat pointed them out to the dev team instead of exploiting a $50 to $100 million smart contract." LSJIO7 responds, "The current hacks seem to be gas dependent. Once Ethereum gas drops, it's likely that they will have more hacks and attempts. Other cheaper gas smart contract chains seems to be targeted at the moment. That will change in my opinion." Windling Coils jumps into the conversation. "Proof of stake is an attack on proof of work." Kinkajou responds, "Going to close this channel now. Thanks for coming, everyone." And that's the end of the discussion. That was a long day for the 14th of January. That's a good one. Okay, so here we go. January 20th. At Tron starts the conversation. "Just FYI, I will be on the plane at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time tomorrow and unable to be at the dev meeting. I will be reviewing conversations following up with the conversations from last week. The donation address for Core Protocol development will be used to pay FDOP or Hyperpeak or others working for the GitHub as per Jaraw's request. Here's the Ravencoin address, RXANMAH, continue, blah, blah, blah. He got 3 fire emojis for that. All right, quick little break, quick little review, see what's going on here. We got some views going on in Twitch. Hello, hello, hello. How's it going, Daniel? Welcome. Shout out to Daniel on the podcast. Welcome. Okay. All right. Anyone else? Okay, cool. We're going to continue on for the 21st of January. Kinkajou starts the conversation. Hello. LSJIO7 responds, hi. Bad Guy TY responds, let's go. Super excited about this stuff being built on the chain. One thing I would like to talk about is change control. In the raw transaction, there is no way to control the change as you can with the regular RPCs. Basically, with a transfer with message, I can specify the recipient in the Raven change and the asset change. This can be all the same address, and it works. This is not possible with raw transactions, and thus not possible with P2SH. I can see the raw change being resolved 2 ways. One, through the use of fund raw transaction, and being able to specify the source UTXO, the change, and the asset change. Number 2, through adding P2SH specific RPCs that allow the needed arguments like the keys to sign with the script used. Okay. Hans Smith responds to Bad Guy TY. Not sure what you mean by that. If you created a raw transaction, then use RavenQT to sign and send. You have total control over every input and output, so you can create outputs which send back to yourselves all the changes in addition to the outputs which send to other people. Just make sure that the total specified output equals to the total specified input. Bad Guy TY responds, the issue is the Squawker Protocol. In order to keep a user known, you have to send from and back to the same address. The output are defined using JSON, and so you can't define the same address 3 times once the asset to flag the type of message, once the asset change, and once for the Raven change. The current implementation could work if the JSON accepted multiple functions for the same address. Currently, it takes first. So the output defined like such could work if it iterated over the JSON object. Here, address, transfer with message, asset, comma, amount, transfer asset, colon, amount, comma, asset, Raven, amount. Hans Smith responds, this doesn't sound like a problem with core. I'm not familiar with Squawker or the JSON, but from the perspective of the core transaction, you can create an address for your Raven change, an address for your asset change, and then just explicitly send any change to them so that the software doesn't have any change left that it needs to deal with. Bad Guy TY responds, correct. The issue I have with a regular address and RPCs, I can do this, but I can't with the raw transactions because it doesn't fully consume the JSON object. Let me put it another way. Say I want to transfer 4 assets to the same address. I would need 4 separate transactions to do this with raw transactions when it should be able to be done with in one. Or even if I want to send Raven and an asset, it would require 2 separate transactions. When you try to combine raw transactions that have overlapping output addresses, it also drops all but one of those outputs, which it constantly with the JSON behavior I am seeing, which is consistent with the JSON behavior I am seeing. This will really be important for things like miner assets, as you would have to send each mined asset to different addresses or have multiple transactions. I get that this is super edge case of trying to do things with RavenQT, but it's currently possible in RPC calls, so it should be also possible to do with raw transactions, which you need to do P2SH. You actually need this for P2SH, as you could only spend the UTXOs in the address once and send the change somewhere else where the others in the P2SH address can't have access to it till after it sends back. Kinkajou responds, it is a consensus change. Doesn't seem like it would be. Have you submitted a PR, question mark, or made an issue perhaps? I am not good with C++, but if that's what it takes, well, I guess I have to do that. I have made an issue. FDOB responds, hello. Hans Schmidt responds, using your own custom written software, you can compose any protocol legal bit string with as many outputs and inputs and IPFS addresses as you want, including sending things like change back to yourself, as long as that bit string. Oh no. Why did it reset again? Oh man, is this going to be happening throughout the whole session here? I'm trying to read here. Hello. Let's go back. Gotta go back up. Back again. Back to the top. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Come on, man. Come on, bro. Try and get things done here. Messing up you cramping up my style. Yeah. Okay. We're still stuck on the 18th. Come on. Yeah, it's just stuck on the 18th. Come on, man. It had to be the day. My internet's going wonky, isn't it? Well then. So is this it then, or what? I don't see it loading up again. Yep, it just reset back to the 18th again. Let's see. Come on. What is going on? Yep, back to the 18th. It just like. There we go. Okay, finally. We're on the 18th. Oh no. It's not what I wanted. Okay, February 11th. And 4th. And 4th. Okay, here we go. Now it looks like it just. Okay, it's working now. It's working. We got it going. Oh no, did I spoke too soon? Oh no, we're on January 28th. We're almost there. Come on, buddy. Let's get over. Let's just complete January, please. We're almost there. Please, Discord, please. Internet, please. I'm asking, please, nicely. January 28th. Come on, almost there. We're just like one meeting away. Come on. Come on. It's like it doesn't want to go back to that week. Conspiracy. The conspiracy. Come on. Just one more week. Come on, go back. Come on. There we go. Finally. Okay, now where were we? Let's just continue from here. From Hans Schmidt. This doesn't sound like a problem with Core. I'm not familiar with Squawker or the JSON, but from the perspective of the Core transaction, you can create an address for your Raven change and an address for your asset change, and then just explicitly send any change to them so that the software doesn't have any change left that it needs to deal with. Bad guy 2Y responds, correct. The issue I have is with regular address and RPCs. I can do this, but I can't with raw transactions because it doesn't fully consume the JSON object. Let me put it another way. Say I want to transfer 4 assets to the same address. I would need 4 separate transactions to do this with raw transactions when it should be able to be done with in one. Or even if I want to send Raven and an address, it would require 2 separate transactions. When you try to combine raw transactions that have overlap in outputs addresses, it also drops all but one of those outputs, which is consistent with the JSON behavior I am seeing. This will really be important for all things like mineable assets, as you would have to send each mined asset to different addresses or have multiple transactions. I get that this is a super edge case of trying to do things with Raven Qt, but it's currently possible in RPC calls, so it should be also possible to do with raw transactions, which you need to do P2SH. You actually need this for P2SH, as you could only spend the UTXOs and the addresses once and send the change somewhere else where others in the P2SH address can't have access to it till after it's sent back. Kinkajou responds, "It is a consensus change. Doesn't seem like it would be. Have you submitted a PR ? Or made an issue perhaps?" Bad guy 2 responds, "I am not good with C++, but if that's what it will take, I guess I will have to do that. I have made an issue." F-Dog responds, "Hello." He got 2 hello response emoji response. Hans Schmidt continues, using your own custom written software, you can compose any protocol legal bit string with as many outputs and inputs and IPFS addresses as you want, including sending things like change back to yourself, as long as that bit string represents a valid serialized transaction. You can then use the core software to sign and send using sign raw transaction and send raw transaction, as long as all Raven and assets in input get all the same outputs in the same total quantities. The transaction can as many inputs and outputs as you want. It did this when creating P2SH transactions to do cross-chain atomic swaps between Raven testnet and BTC testnet. Core doesn't limit you. F-Dog responds, "Core or Bitcoin does not allow multiple outputs to the same address with create raw transaction." Here's a GitHub link to github.com/bitcoin/issue/23877-bitcointalk.org/index.php !topics equals 1504730.0. Most of the people think it is stupid because you should just add up the numbers to make it 1. Bad guy 2 responds, "Well, the issue we are running into here is you can't send both assets and Raven, let alone splitting a UTXO into 2. Hans Schmidt responds, "So, is that the issue? That you need to send Raven and assets to the same address in a single transaction?" Bad guy 2Y responds, "Partially. I would also like to send 2 sets of assets and Raven to the same address." F-Dog responds, "You can't send assets change, and Raven change to the same address." Bad guy 2Y responds, "You can with RPC transfer with message. FDOT responds yes, but you can't with create raw transaction. Bad guy TY responds, I understand. I'm looking to fix that. It creates raw transactions, would consume a multi-part JSON. It would work. So a transfer with message as well as a transfer. FDOT responds, so for your use case, it might be worth it. Most others should not reuse addresses like that. At Bad Guy TY, you can create the transaction, but it will be rejected. Hans Schmidt responds, why not create a custom serialized transactions during anything legal that you want and then just sign raw transactions and send raw transactions? Bad Guy TY responds, oh, I get that I am completely an oddball, but with P2SH, are you going to have to create a new address each time you use that address? Oh, I guess with a typical P2SH, you could just send the change back to the address. Bad Guy TY responds to Hans Schmidt, I guess that's the route I might have to take. I really didn't want to get that deep in the weeds with all this. Writing your own transaction sounds about as fun as my senior project to write a working compiler and a VM to display the ASM in. FDOT responds, it will throw here. GitHub.com/fdot/Ravencoin/blah, and there's a bunch of numbers /source, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Neil jumps into the conversation. It's not that hard. I'm working on a C# class that will do a lot of the lot, including signing right now. Won't be completed for a while though. Also not touching P2SH at this stage. Kinkajou responds, I am very impressed by and appreciative of all the work our core devs are putting in. I see some PRs have been reviewed and approved. Thanks FDOB and Hans Schmidt. Any ideas as to when we might expect a release? And that concludes the January 21st meeting. Now, oh no! Why did it reset on me again? Come on. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, I guess my internet went down again. Why? Okay. It just reset back to the current date. Maybe it wasn't meant for me to be doing this, huh? Let's see here. I'm trying my best, guys. I'm trying my best, okay? Just want to get this out to you guys. I gotta let it load up. Okay. Where are we at? We are... Okay. Okay. That wasn't the end. Okay. So where am I at then? Wait a minute. What just happened? Let's see here. Let's see here. How far back do I need to go? Okay, here we go. Neil, I will fully document my C# efforts once it's ready. Making this kind of thing trivial. Is that as far back as I'm supposed to go? Let's see if I can get some more out of here. Come on. Come on, Discord. Come on. Anything? No? You're gonna help me out, Discord? Internet? Anything? No? I guess I just start reading before it resets. This is continuing on January 21st. I will fully document my C# efforts once it's ready, making this kind of thing trivial. Hans Schmidt response to Bad Guy TY. Doing it from scratch is painful, but using the library like Python or Ravencoin lib definitely helps a lot and lets you do it in Python. Bad Guy TY response to Hans Schmidt. Well, that makes me more hopeful. I didn't know that there was a library. Okay, I got to run to pick up the kids for school, but thanks for helping me find a route forward. Hanschmidt responds, I have processed all but 2 PRs. Overall, the quality was very good. Just a few need fixing and some debate. We need to decide on which PRs to include in release, and we need to get community agreement on what percentage of approval by miners we will require for activation. LSJ IO7 responds, I thought 80% was selected along with a longer lock-in window. Higher as anticipated, a fairly uncontentious fork for P2SH, uncontentious. Hanschmidt responds, thanks at FDOV for all your work generating those PRs. FDOV responds, thank you for finding my mistake. Hanschmidt responds, any other opinion on what the percentage of approval of miners will be required for activation, question mark, or how we will decide whether we have collected enough feedback to make a decision? FDOV responds, I think about 80% should be good. If it doesn't activate on the first try, there's always a new epoch. I am happy with 80% if that is the community agreement. FDOV responds, I don't recall what we decided last time. I think we have concluded on this at some point earlier too. LSJIO7 responds, Tron supported 80% plus. Here's a link to discord.com/channels. I'm assuming that's where Tron said that he likes 80%. FDOV responds, about to open PRs. I think the security release ones should be top priority. Not all are exploitable, but it does not look good to make a release with known open CVE issues when simple fixes are available. LSJL7 responds, it could be tricky to get, but in my opinion, we definitely have community agreement to adopt the changes at 80%. Perhaps not the first epoch, but there are multiple opportunities. Hanschmidt responds to FDOV, yes, that decision is easy, especially since those PRs were all straight copies from Bitcoin and therefore carry very little risk by including them. LSJIO7 responds, we don't need a rapid fork, we need a secure fork with community support. If it takes time, so be it. There's more eyes on the code during the process, the better. I appreciate the review and work done. Hanschmidt responds, as soon as we decided which PRs to include, we need to distribute new binaries for widespread testing, including full sync from zero test. I'm going to drop off now. See y'all next time. Stay safe and healthy. FDOV response, bye. FDOV response to Hanschmidt, we could try to do a SIG meeting or something deciding the PRs at some point. Once they are selected and merged to develop, I can build our C1 binaries. Bad Guy 2 response, once again, guys, thanks. And that concludes the 21st of January. Now we're moving over to the 23rd. Just give me a second here. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back and ready for the 23rd. Just weighing in, 80% seems, this is from Tron, just weighing in, 80% seems reasonable, critical to get economic actors, exchanges, swaps, bots, merchants on board before activation. The extended time frame helps with that. I think the JSON parsing has merit. If it was BTC, then it makes sense to combine. With assets output and Raven outputs, there is a valid case for distinguishing them in parsing. But as discussed, the raw bytes can't... Oh, we're about to reset again. No, why? Don't do this to me, please. But as discussed, the raw bytes can be constructed and signed. It is only the intermediate JSON that is causing the problem. It needs to stay backward compatible, except that the thrown error can work. JSON format should stay the same. And we reset. Why? Why are we resetting here? Please stop resetting. 23rd of January. We're not even done with the first month. I should have been done already. Jeez Louise. This is frustrating. I'm doing my best, folks. I'm trying to make it work. It's not working. So come on. I think we're on February 4th. Now we just gotta let that load. Come on. we go. There we go. Okay. Come on. Where are we at? Okay, we finished the 21st, right? Yeah, we did. And we're on the 23rd. Here we go. This is from Tron. I think the JSON parsing has merit. If it was all BTC, then it makes sense to combine with asset output and Raven output. There's a valid case for distinguishing them in parsing, but as discussed, the raw bytes can be constructed and signed. It is only the intermediate JSON that is causing the problem. It needs to stay backward compatible, except that the thrown error can work. JSON format should say the same. And that was for the 23rd. Okay, so moving on to the 28th of January. Kinkajou opens the channel. Channel open. Tron responds, "Hi everyone." Silva responds with a hat tip emoji. Get responds, "When moon." Kinkajou responds, "Not sure about that, but at FDOP hosted the first developer workshop yesterday in Raven Qt SIG working to great success. Myself and many others learned a lot on setting up development environment and making changes to the code." You got a bunch of emojis for that, a bunch of up arrows and hearts. "Thanks again for hosting FDOB." FDOB responds, "Hi." Tron responds, "Thank you at FDOB." FDOB responds, "Bitcoin mining, FYI." You got a bunch of emojis for that. If you want to read the workshop threads, it's at discord.com/channel. There's a bunch of numbers. Kinkajou responds, "If you weren't able to attend but are interested in learning, I fell behind during the build process, but was able to get through everything again this morning with no problems. Very helpful having everything written out like that to reference." Then I should actually save this link here. That's what I'm about to do. Give me a moment while I save this link. Cool. I got that. If you weren't able to attend, if you were, okay, blah, 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 blah. FDOB responds, "And if you have questions, feel free to @ me in Raven QT-SIG-working or #development. I'll answer when I can if you are not interrupting anything." About the release, I agree with Hans Schmidt, and his spreadsheet shows the status, discord.com/channels/bunch of numbers. TLDR, if we are including everything proposed by me and Hans combined, we have 12 PRs pending 2x review. Crawlbetter responds, "Do you still need help with the Gitian? FDOB responds, "Yeah, I got frustrated and stopped trying some months ago. There is a draft PR, github.com/ravenproject/ravencoin/pool/1131. It builds, but most not deterministic for anything but OS X." Tron responds, "I have to sign off. Mango and I are at a Satoshi Roundtable 8 this week with Bruce, and events are starting up. We will probably co-moderate a session on Ravencoin and the changing regulatory environment." FDOB responds, "Bye." Kai responds, "Kai was here." Kinkajou responds, I'll wrap this one up then. Any further discussion can continue in #development. Thanks for coming, everyone." And that's the end for the month of January 28th. Now moving over to February. Okay, Kinkajou responds with a hand wave emoji. Someone_2 responds with the same emoji, waving. And Neil responds, "I forgot about this." Why? Please, I don't want to do this again. We keep resetting. This is going to be like one of the worst episodes ever. Like, man. Come on. We reset again. I guess I just have to be patient, right? I shouldn't be flustered. I should find my moment in Zen. Appreciate the moment to breathe. Yes. Breathe crypto. Eat crypto. Sleep crypto. Write crypto. Talk crypto. Drive crypto. Crypto to the moon. Okay. enough of that. Are we almost there? February 11th. Almost there. Come on. Okay. Keep it going. Still loading. Still loading. Okay, we're almost there. Where are we at? This should be it, right? Yeah. 4th. Just going back to the top. Okay, Kyle was here. Here we go. Okay. Okay, so they've got the emojis. Okay, so Neil, I forgot about this. Someone underscore, perhaps many others did too. I had to set an alarm clock to be here. Can get your response. That's what I do. Fridays are tough for meetings, huh? Sometimes just take a while for people to fill into. Someone underscore 2. If not, I may just have to stumble in about 3:25ish or some other time like that. LSJIS7 response. Hi, blessed. Everyone's snoozing. Apologies, most are snoozing. LSJIO7 responds, questions from Raven Rebels. Hi, folks. Does anyone know of a JavaScript library that number one, from 12 words can generate Ravencoin addresses, BIP39 mnemonic. Number 2, can sign a certain message with a certain address / priv key while it's quiet? Because I don't know. I thought there was a lib that worked early, but nothing that has had been released as far as I know. Raven Rebels responds, Raven core-lib, question mark. LSJIO7 responds, yes, but it was before the BIP39 IIRC. Raven Rebels responds, would be nice if we could have a Google Chrome extension so we could sign in to websites using unique assets or addresses. For that, we need JavaScript. Ah! No. Okay. Zen, please. Zen. Why? I don't understand why it's resetting on me. Please. Why are you doing this, computer, internet, Discord? Just stop, okay? I'm trying to read here. Let me read, please. Please let me read development meetings. That's all I want to do in life, just read development meetings. I want nothing more in life than just to read the development meetings, please. Okay, take a break, I guess. Keep going. And okay, we're back. So let's see. Raven Rebels responds, Ravencoin-lib. LSJIO7 responds, yes, but it was before BIP39 IIRC. Raven Rebels responds, would be nice if we could have a Google Chrome extension so we could sign in to websites using unique assets or addresses. For that, we need JavaScript. Kinkajou responds, we were using Pocket Raven to generate a priv key from UN plus PW input. Never got signing down though. Raven Rebels responds, signin.ravenrebels.com. This POC works, but you have to manually sign a message in Raven Core Qt. Kinkajou responds, yeah, the goal was a browser extension to log to websites like you mentioned. At Scotty, apparently at Key Vault, working on Raven at one point, but no one was using / testing it. Raven Rebels responds, Googled and found it. Well, check it out. LSJIO7 responds with the link, discord.com/channel/bunch of numbers. Kinkajou responds, oops, sorry, I meant it in a few meetings, but here's a link for reference. Demos.keyvault.app. Raven Rebels responds, thank you. LSJIO7 responds with the link, github.com/redo project/bip39. This can be used to get an address from a seed. Set up a redo, but the same concept works for Raven. Raven Rebels, thanks, we'll check that out. LSJIO7 response, github.com/IanColeman/bit39 is the original. Kinkajou responds, Qua Verde. At Qua Verde, send me this library when I mention our signing issues, but I haven't looked. I don't know if this is going to work. This is like... Patience, my friend. Patience. Just have patience. Take your time. There's no rush. Just do your best. Put out the best information you can. Okay, there we go. Raven Rebels, thank you. LSJIO7 responds with a link, github.com/readerproject/bip39. This can be used to get an address from seed. Set up Redo, but for the same concept, it works for Raven. Raven Rebels responds, thank you, we'll check that out. LSJIO7 responds, github.com/Ian Coleman/bip39 this is the original. Kinkajo responds at Quaverde. Sent me this library when I mentioned our signing issues, but I haven't looked at it yet since we scrapped the project. GitHub.com/starkbank/ECDSA-node. Raven Rebels responds, we'll check that one out as well. This works apparently, but it is not clear how it works. Ravencoin.org/bip44. Raven Rebels, LSJIO7 responds at Raven Rebels. The keys are deterministic, so the same seed can be used for multiple blockchains. Raven Rebels responds, true. LSJIO7 responds, just a different path. Raven Rebels responds with a screenshot of code. LSJIO7 responds, yes, mbip32 is m/44/0/0/0. Raven Rebels BIP39 package is lovely. So getting the word list easy. I thought m/44/0/0/0 was for BTCs and m/44/175/0/0 was for Raven. LSJIO7 responds, you are right. Reading fast. Sorry. Raven Rebels responds, any news on the new mobile wallet? Okay, give me a second. My apologies. Discord has reset on me again. I am not getting upset. I am just taking my time. I will do my best to get this information out to you as soon as possible. Okay. And we have there we are. Okay. Let's see. Yes, LSJIO7 responds, you are right. Reading fast, sorry. Raven Rebels responds, any news on that new mobile wallet? LSJIO7 responds, at Wall Street. This is the last update I saw. And here's a screenshot from Wall Street, and it's not going to load. That was almost 6 weeks ago from Raven Rebels. LSJIO7 responds, quietly waiting or at least trying to. Raven Rebels responds, we really need solid smartphone wallets that combined with sign-in and web apps using Ravencoin NFTs. LSJIO7 responds, well, where am I at? Where am I at? LSJIO7 responds, I need that for a few discords simply to keep bots out. Kinkaju responds, people keep telling me it's not that hard for like 2+ years. But now we still have none. No one like JS, in my opinion. I think Mango said he might consider making one eventually a few dev meetings back. Raven Rebels responds, sorry, what do they say is not hard? Kinkaju responds, making a browser extension to sign into web applications with Raven assets. Raven Rebels responds, shouldn't be hard. We have to store your secret phrase in a very safe way. We'll copy how MetaMask is doing. Kinkaju responds, can't you just keep it encrypted in session mem? Tried forking MetaMask first, and it was just a complete waste of time. Entirely different from what you'd want for BTC-based chains, in my opinion. Easier to start from scratch. Raven Rebels responds, yes, we should start from scratch. The flow to sign in by signing a message is not complicated. This demo should work. signin.ravenrebels.com. But you have to manually sign a message in Raven Core Qt. Sorry for saying this twice. LSJIO7 responds, all the site does is verify. Shouldn't have anything with private keys, in my opinion. Only the public keys for the user and unsigned message. Response is the signed message. Am I missing something? Raven Rebels responds, this demo works like user enters the name of the NFT the user wants to sign in as. Server checks the network which addresses the NFTs belong to generate as a message/challenge. User takes the message/challenge and signs it. User sends the signed message to server. Server validates the message has been signed with the correct address that holds the NFT. LSJ IO7 responds. So we just need a way to verify the signed message without a wallet. Kinkajou responds to Raven Rebels. Yeah, that part just really kills the UX and hinders adoption, though in my opinion, better to have it in the browser. Raven Rebels responds, if we have a browser extension where I have entered my phrase or my private keys, then the browser extension can sign the message and the UTXO flows is silky smooth for the end user. Just a prompt, do you want to sign it? And you click yes. LSJIO7 responds, so extension is hot wallet used to simply verify the login signed message. Raven Rebels responds, almost, it's like a hot wallet used to sign the message. User never verify, only signs, server only verifies, never sign. Bitcoin message seems promising, we'll check it out right now. LSJIO7 responds with a link, github.com/raven-community/ravencoinjs-message at Raven Rebels like this. And Raven Rebels responds with a screenshot of some code. The first example throws an error, unfortunately, seems a bit outdated. Too bad, we need this. LSJIO7 responds with a link, github.com/qualverde/ravencoinjs-message. It has 2 new commits, at Qualverde. Don't know if you had any joy with this. Qualverde responds, 1 sec. I found better luck with Bitcoin.js. Example with an asset minting Discord bot whip. And here's a link to github.com/qualverde/raven Discord bot/blob/master/main.js, and another link to github.com/qualverde/bitcoin. Apologies again while I just reload back to our current time. There we go. Okay. All right, we're back. So where was it? Okay, so examples. Okay, so this is from Qualverde. 1 sec. I found a better luck with Bitcoin-JS. Example with an asset minting Discord bot whip. GitHub.com/Qualverde/Raven Discord bot/blob/master/main.js, and another link to GitHub.com/Qualverde/BitcoinJS-lib. Raven Rebels response, will bookmark that one. Qualverde responds, that's the one I use to remove the buffer check for assets. But yeah, Bitcoin-JS should be fine for generic stuff. LSJIO7 responds, awesome. I think we can close the meeting now. I need a liqueur coffee. Hope that helps. Raven Rebels responds, haha, thanks for the help. LSJ7 responds at Qualverde, thank you for sharing that. And Ravencoin.timeline.ovh responds, hi guys, I would like to monitor specific Raven assets activity through www.raven-rvn-dashboard.com. For this, I need to find a way to get data daily. I need to track activity specific assets in terms of number of transactions, transferred volume, asset not Raven, paid in fees, type of transactions, issue, reissue, transfers. Can this be done through Raven, or can this be done through a Raven node RPC calls? Qualverde responds with pure node calls, no. Ravencoin.timeline.ovh responds, how would it be possible? Qualverde responds, periodically asking the node for current height when you see a new block, grab its data and parse it for what you need. Ravencoin.timeline.ovh. So we need to scan each block each minute. Qualverde responds, yeah, but I'd ask for the block height like every 2 seconds. LSJIO7 responds, ZMQ, question mark. Qualverde responds, you could do that, but it's a little difficult for the whole getting the history thing. Ravencoin.timeline.oeh responds, ideally we would need an API whereby, say, enter the asset name, the data, and the summary gets returned. Quadratic response, nah, I mean, all the data is there, but building the niche case into core is not necessarily in my eyes. Ravencoin.timeline.ovh responds, the idea behind this project is to monitor asset activity to follow a project, i.e. stablecoins on Raven RVN blockchain. We could monitor to per day transfer, then put the results on the charts to see how successful, how much it is used. Quadratic responds, I get what you're saying. It's going to be a fairly sizable database though. Do you want to only store current data or by height? Question mark. Ravencoin.timeline-ovh and we're about to reset. Give me a second here. Yep, like I thought. Okay, I'm starting to predict this pattern now. When my screen ticks, then it's resetting back to the beginning. Okay, no worries. Little by little. This is taking a little bit longer than I thought, but no worries. We will get there eventually. I thought it was going to take an hour, but we're almost an hour and a half in. No worries. Okay. Okay, is it here? Yeah, it's somewhere here, right? Okay. I get what you're saying. It's going to be fairly sizable database though. Do you want to only store it on current data or by height? This is from Quadratic. Ravencoin.timeline.ovh responds, I have a VPS and would not mind hosting the DB. LSJ IO7 response, the database is already there if the user is storing asset index and address index anyways. Ravencoin.timeline.ovh. Basically, I'm not technical, not programmer. I have ideas. I would like to get all useful data per day that can be useful to monitor any asset name. Quadratic response, yeah, it's simple enough. Ravencoin.timeline.ovh. Then I can add them on raven-dashboard.com, available for anyone. Quadratic responds, I could probably write one up for you over the weekend. Just DM what you want. Quadratic response to, Ravencoin.timeline.ovh responds to Quadratic. I will do, thanks. Ravencoin.timeline.ovh responds, done. Well Street responds to LSJ-IO7. Getting closer. We all caught COVID for 2 weeks. We are making good progress, and everyone will be pleased with our hard work. And there's a bunch of emoji responses on that. LSJ-IO7 responds, Well Street, take care. Kinkaju responds, I will go ahead and close this channel for now. Further discussion can continue in development. Thanks for coming, everyone. All right, and that concludes February 4th. Now, February 11th. Kinkaju responds, channel open. LSJ-IO7 responds, hi. Someone underscore responds with a wavy hand emoji. Quadratic responds, hello. Bad guy TY responds, almost forgot again. LSJ-IO7 responds, I have made a brief list of items today. Very brief unless someone has a longer agenda. Number 1, update on the ledger progress for Raven asset support. Is there anything needed from the community to help progress? 2, progress on P2SH and the next wallet release. Quadratic responds, ledger is going slow, but sure. Bad guy TY responds, my question on the next release, if it is not coming soon, can we maybe squeeze in mineable assets? Not sure how much more work that would be though. I would like to see those definitely before ETH goes POS. Quadratic responds with a link, github.com/quadratic/app-ravencoin. Here is the repo for Ledger. Everything works, but it's unstable, crashes sometimes, finding out why. LSJ-IO7 responds to Bad Guy TY. Mineable assets would be a consensus change and bad practice, in my opinion, to include more than one significant change in a release. P2SH is enough for the next release, in my opinion. Quadratic responds with the link, discord.com/channel/a bunch of numbers and /a bunch of numbers /a bunch of more numbers. And here's how to emulate. And if anyone wants to help, feel free. Written in C. Bad guy TY responds, sorry, I got enough things I'm trying to do, like make a PGP tag faucet and API for Squawker. LSJ IO7 responds, I got given a ledger recently so I can help test but not programming. I know my limits at the moment. I will make a community request though on as many channels as possible for devs to assist. Don't ask, don't get. Tron, I'm back home. I'll set some time aside. My apologies. I've got to reset back to the 11th of February. And here we go. I'm back home. This is from Tron. I'm back home. I'll set some time aside next week to review PRs for inclusion. LSJ IO7 response. That's awesome. Thank you. I saw quite a few small PRs moving on GitHub recently. Hans Schmidt response. Most of the PRs have already been merged into develop. There are just a few more and some cleanups. Bad Guy TY response. I'm excited to add the new Raven dev movie. I need a cleaner way of including the BTC code forks, though those make the image jump all over the place. Hans Schmidt responds, also there is one more bug fix which I want to include in the next release. In December, we had a report of a nasty bug in core which caused all the pool operators to lock up at the same time and require restarting. It was caused by a case in which miners were lucky enough to find 2 blocks less than 1 second apart. I'm in the process of writing up the PR bug fix for that. Bad Guy TY responds, my question is, how did the miners know the question that fast to find the answer that fast? Someone underscore 2 responds, I remember reading about that somehow 3 blocks were found inside of like 40 seconds of each other and it did really bad things. Bad Guy TY responds, I remember it happening for sure. LSJ IO7 responds to Bad Guy PY, pure chance in my opinion. Good to have a fix in the works. Surprised testnet didn't have the bug though. Found lots of blocks close together there. Bad Guy TY responds, yeah, but on testnet you're not fighting with others for consensus. Hans Schmidt responds, testnet has had some other issues which look like they may be related, but it's hard to tell for sure since it's difficult to reproduce and the error message are not very helpful. Bad Guy TY responds, good error messages are impossible. Hans Schmidt responds, plus the 2 blocks have to be really close together. Bad Guy TY responds, sub-second is highly unlikely. Let's say 0.02 latency total. That's 0.8 for a solution, which is not long. Someone underscore 2, despite close being relative, if I remember correctly, it was roughly that 3 blocks were found in under a minute, totally screwing up the average. And then nothing was found for like 10 minutes, perhaps even evening out what had just happened. And it was wondering briefly if the chain had crashed. LSJ IO7 responds, is anyone monitoring chain tips and the longest fork recently? Tron responds, no, but near the happening, the chain for nice hash was out of sync, possible attempt of a 51% attack. LSJ IO7 responds, I personally haven't seen any significant split longer than 10 blocks, normally hovering around 1 to 2 max. Bad Guy TY responds, I can't wait till the usage gets up there that sort of thing is impossible. LSJ IO7 responds, but that's a very casual monitoring and not an in-depth review. Wrapping a stability fix for Hans mentioned in the P2SH code sounds fine in my opinion as long as only one is consensus related. Bad Guy TY responds, so what we were thinking the new release date should be around. LSJ IO7 responds, preaching to the choir, I'll sit down. Bad Guy TY responds, assuming everything is approved and merged into the dev, what would be looking for a date? Hans Schmidt responds to LSJ IO7, they are both in consensus code, but the bug fix is 2 lines of code. Hans Schmidt responds to Bad Guy TY, timing depends on multiple people to approve, so it's not under any one person's control. LSJ IO7 responds, okay, I thought they could be, so double checking, can we do 2 releases? One with the stability fix, only no BIP9, and one immediately after with a P2SH with BIP9. That way people have the choice. I know it's a PETA, but it's fair to ensure P2SH consensus is clear. I don't believe a BIP9 is required for the stability consensus issue. Tell me if I'm wrong here. The second release contains the stability fix plus PTSH BIP9 for clarity. Hanschmidt responds, it can be released with only the PTSH stuff wrapped up in the BIP9 minor approval. LSJ IO7 responds, I like simplicity. Hanschmidt responds, there are quite a few PRs that will be in the release which touch consensus code, but are not expected to have any effect on on-chain consensus. The less than 1 second block bug fix, for instance, is the consensus section of the code, but shouldn't change what's going on the chain. The pools didn't put anything weird on the chain; they just looked up. Most of those codes are fixes ported from Bitcoin. LSJ IO7 responds, thanks for the info and updates. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming. I'm doing a runner. LSJ Hanschmidt responds, the PTSH for assets feature needs BIP9 approval because it's a major feature change and also a massive amount of new code which affects consensus. LSJ IO7 responds, coingecko responds, I'll go ahead and wrap this one up. Any further discussion can continue in hashtag development. Thanks for coming, everyone. And that is the end of the discussion for February 11th. Let's take a quick little break here. A little parched. And continue on. February 18th, coingecko. Channel open. Tron. Hi, everyone. Neil, anything new? Question mark. Bad guy TY responds, hi, everyone. Almost forgot again, but I just finished with the bees. Perfect timing. Tron responds, I went through the PRs that were listed in Hans' spreadsheet and marked as consensus related. They all look okay. There's one I would recommend not including. github.com/ravenproject/ravencoin/pool/1126 just because it shuts down the node if there's an issue. I think logging the error and not connecting the block is sufficient. Someone _2 responds, so what's the next step of things? Neil responds, any ETA on the new release? Some approximation, like what month to expect it? Question mark. Bad guy 2 response, my next thing is working on Squawker APIs so the blockchain gets use and publicity. Someone responds, I too wonder, but also wonder that there are too many moving parts to give much detail on it. Morgan responds, hi everyone, just wanted to let you know that I bought a domain name for a website and a main asset to start to collect events around Raven, Twitter Spaces, streams, new projects, drops, etc. Hit me up with events and I will share them. Neil responds, I have recently been a little concerned about UTXO's set inflation due to what's essentially spam asset airdrops. I know this isn't new, but it's a concern when there's 600,000 of them in a single day. LSJ IO7 responds to Morgan, once a release is made and ready, we will need help sharing that. Let's see. Tron responds, one test I'd like to see run is the PR. github.com/ravenproject/ravencoin/pool/1124, which impacts the active date, included and a full chain sync. Then with BIP9 activated, core override and sync and make sure it continues running between that and running through the other PRs myself to make sure they don't impact consensus. I'm comfortable with moving to master, building, testing, and signing. Bad guy TY responds to @Neil. They already increased transaction costs to avoid this. Tron responds, for my part, I will digitally sign a Windows binary with the foundation key. I will help others with communicating the existence of the new update, starting with the economic actors, then miners. Hanschmidt responds to Tron, thanks for spending your time on that. PR1126 was ported as a bug fix from Bitcoin. I am also of the opinion that some of them are not worth doing. On that one, they claimed it indicated hardware failure, which, depending on the cause, could go into infinite loop trying to reconnect to the same bad block. Not clear whether that would just lock up nodes or they might also cause that node to send. Give me a second here. Um. Oh, okay. Let's see here. Okay, yeah. So, Hanschmidt response to Tron. Thanks for spending the time on that. The PR1126 was ported as a bug fix from Bitcoin. I am also of the opinion that some of them are not worth doing. On that one, they claimed it indicated hardware failure, which, depending on the cause, could go into infinite loop trying to reconnect the same bad block. Not clear whether that would just lock up the nodes or they thought it might also cause that node to send incorrect network traffic. Bad guy TY responds, that kind of makes sense, but it is extreme. Hanschmidt responds, I'm okay with leaving it out. I was on the fence about it. Bad guy TY responds, I mean, if it becomes a problem, we could keep this PR open and ready to go if we need to patch it in, right? Hanschmidt responds, since it indicates corruption on the node system, it can't be a widespread problem. Bad guy TY responds, yeah, but if the node is flooding the network with bad traffic, I'm just playing the devil's advocate that if BTC thought it was needed, it might legitimately be needed, but not likely. So instead of a hard pass, we do a soft pass of it's ready if need be. Hanschmidt responds, a closed PR can always be reopened. Sounds like we are getting closer. I'm glad to have Tron's assessment that things look good since there isn't much left that we intend to add. Bad guy TY responds, good point. Crawbetter the response, I'm still working on Ledger. Slow but sure. Bad guy TY response to Crawbetter, if only all sides projects could get unlimited dev time. Hanschmidt responds to Tron. Tron, I assume that you mean a couple of single nodes mainnet tests, or do you also want to activate use and true mining voting on testnet? Tron responds, single node is fine. I want to be certain that any change to the BIP9 settings do not impact a full sync as a various BIP9 triggers hit at various blocks counts, asset activation, DGW, etc. And switching the BIP9 activation hardcode at block numbers. Also making sure it will syncs and runs. It is my understanding that a fork will not happen until P2SH. Excuse me. Just need to scroll back up. Do 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 do. Oh, okay. Hanschmidt responds, Tron, I assume that you mean a couple of single nodes mainnet test, or do you also want active use and true miners voting on testnet? Tron responds, single node is fine. I want to be certain that any changes to the BIP9 settings do not impact a full sync as the various BIP9 triggers hits at various block counts, asset activation, DGW, etc., and switching the BIP9 activation hard coded at the block number and making sure it still syncs and runs. It is my understanding that the fork will not happen until P2SH transactions hits the main chain on 4.7 when 4.7 accepts it and 4.3.2.1 rejects it. Hanschmidt responds to Tron, got it, will do. The P2SH code patches we added to the original P2SH bounty code were fixed to such a problem where malformed but legal transactions on mainnet were accidentally burned Raven, caused an instance fork even without new P2SH asset transactions. We will check it again and the BIP9 code. Bad guy TY responds, I'll be sure to make sure my node is watching for it to be active so it can be the cause of the fork. Hanschmidt responds, you're gonna need a lot more than one node. Okay, let's go back up. Come on. Keep it going. We're almost there. Do 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 do. Here. Okay, somewhere. Okay, I'll be right back. Alright, I am back. Let's see here. Where do we leave off at? Is my head on right? Jeez. It didn't reset. Look at that. Somewhere right around here, I think. I'll be sure to. This is from Bad Guy 2i. I'll be sure to make sure my node is watching for it to be active, so it can be the cause of the fork. Hans Schmidt responds, "You're gonna need a lot more than one node." Bad Guy 2i responds, "Won't we know about when the acceptance is high enough level, based off of the number of nodes on each version?" Hans Schmidt responds, "Acceptance is done based on the version number which miners puts in the blocks." Tron responds to Bad Guy 2i, "Yes, every node will count up which blocks are mined with the new software and which were mined with the old. It is critical that we notify all the economic actors before activation so they can be on the new software. Get block chain info will give you the block count for the BIP9 activation." Bad Guy 2i responds to Tron, "Yeah, I see that. I would have a counter to follow. Okay, well, I'm off to create address encryption, tag redemption tokens, so I can get started handing out Squawker RIP 11 AET PGP tags." Kinkajou responds, "Thanks for coming, everyone. Feel free to continue in #development." And that's the conclusion for the February 18th. Now, February 25th. Kinkajou responds, "Channel open." Kinkajou responds, if there are no specific items to address at Tron, a few weeks back you announced the foundation you would be willing to hire another paid developer to assist with Ravencoin. I've reached out to a few developers, and I think some clarification on the duties/responsibilities will be helpful. Can you provide any info on the job requirements/responsibilities? And would this be a standalone position, or would the dev be reporting to yourself or someone else in the foundation? Tron responds, "It would be part-time with a focus on maintaining the CI/CD pipeline for core builds and mobile builds." Kinkajou responds to Tron, "And would they be reporting to you, or would it be largely self-guided, just working on open tasks when they have time?" Tron responds, "We need someone who is self-motivated. I'm happy to provide direction. Remote is fine, and we can consult together on the most important task." Kinkajou responds, "Are there any updates on the statuses on the latest release?" Tron responds to Kinkajou, "No updates from me." And that is the conclusion of the February 25th meeting. Okay, now moving over to March 4th. Finally, channel open from Kinkajou. Tron responding, listening to a Twitter Spaces related to T0, twitter.com/Raven, Rick Grimes 1/status/ a bunch of numbers. Someone _2 responds, I'm around, but happy to be building a computer. But happen to be building a computer. Okay. Hans Schmidt responds, has anyone tried to run the Python functional test again? The develop branch, it appears to be failing 5 tests. I haven't had time to diagnose yet. Kinkajou responds, I have not done any tests since FDOV put out the call for volunteers on the test 3 binaries. Do you have a link? Hans Schmidt responds, the procedure is documented at github.com/ravenproject/ravencoin/blob/master/test/readme.md. Rerun the whole test _runner.py testnet. You got 4 thumbs up for that. Tron responds, that was actually it for the third of the fourth of March 4th. Now March 10th. Tron responds, I'm out of network range tomorrow, Friday. Now that was the end of March 10th, and now going to March 11th. Kinkajo responds, channel open. Hi, I would like to know if there is an ETA. This is from Burex. Hi, I would like to know if there's an ETA for P2SH, and if not, let's make one. Referencing Han's message from here. Discord.com/channel/numbers/numbers/more numbers. Bad Guy TY responds, I think we just need to bite the bullet and get it out there unless there is some compelling reason to get more tested than what is currently tested. Kinkajo responds, has anyone run the integration test and replicated the errors Hans described last week? Bad Guy TY responds, I forgot I missed last week and didn't read all the comments well. Then we would need to solve those first. Kinkajo responds, at Hans Schmidt. Is that the only thing holding up release? I can take a look at it this weekend and post an announcement for volunteer testers. Hans Schmidt responds, those 5 functional test failures, a few remaining PR approvals, i.e. the fix for the bug which crashed miners, I shouldn't approve my own patch code, and some tests which Tron request at discord.com/channel/numbers/numbers/more numbers. And that is the end of the meeting for the March 11th. Now moving over to March 18th, Kinkajou responds, channel open, at Hans Schmidt. I ran the functional test and got 6 failures, so one more than expected. Feature _ fee _ estimation, feature _ max upload target, mempool _ limit, mining _ priorities transaction, RPC _ asset index, wallet _ basic. Quadratic response, I also found some errors while syncing from scratch having to do with tagging addresses with sub-qualifiers on testnet. I'll need to try and dig into the code to see what's up. Tron responds, I can take a look at the test this week. The reason for sub-qualifiers is so KYC is the token rule would work, KYC/provider _ A and KYC _ provider _ B. If it has changed and we decide we want it changed, then it will need to be wrapped in BIP9. Crowdwriter responds, right, but there's something on testnet chain right now that is choking up syncing. Should it be validated? But the new nodes don't like it. Someone _2 responds, I'm syncing right now, was going to try my hand at the DPI scaling test. We'll keep an eye on it. Crowdwriter response should be around what is that? That's 1 million. Yeah, 1,270,000. Actually, I can look it up right now. 1,127,354. Someone _2 responds, I'm still on the headers. Probably won't get to the blocks till tomorrow. We'll keep an eye on it. Crowdwriter responds, cool, thank you. Someone _2 responds, you've got me wondering what will happen. I plan to just leave it on and just let it run straight through. And that concludes the meeting for the March 18th. All right, finally, this was last Friday's meeting. It took us about 2 hours to get here, but we are here now. Cool. Okay, Kinkajou responds, channel open. Nonprofit responds, I'll start with the usual. When P2SH? ? Kinkajou responds, at Tron, did you get a chance to look at those failing tests this week? ? Nonprofit responds, also any ETA on when work will be being on this? Phase 7 compatibility mode allows newly created assets to appear exactly like Raven, LTC, or Bitcoin for easy integrations into exchanges, wallets, explorers, etc. Speeds adoption into the larger crypto ecosystem. Tron responds, I'm still working on it. I'm reconstructing the dev environment on my Mac via Parallels because my PC died. I don't know how much value the compatibility mode has now. At the time it was proposed, most coins were Litecoin-like. Now most tokens are Uniswap-like. There might be more values in mimicking ERC20, only possible if exchanges are not monitoring the Ethereum chain directly, or building an abstraction layer like Rosetta. Kinkajou responds, How would that look like? How would that look relative to a UTXO implementation? I only have a rudimentary understanding, but it seems to me like mimicking LTC/BTC would be much easier and probably more secure since assets already transact similar to those chains. Tron responds, "It's easier, but so far there isn't demand for that compatibility layer." My tongue's already dying off. Non-proper response to Tron. Fair enough. It should probably be removed from the roadmap until a decision can be made. Tron responds, "Perper might want something like that if there are exchanges that are wired for Bitcoin, Litecoin, etc. But some of those, like Coinbase, use an abstraction layer like Rosetta anyways." Kinkajou responds, "So something similar to a wrapped asset, would we need a sort of Ravencoin asset specific smart contract standard, and Rosetta would be what we already did for Raven as a part of the Coinbase listing requirements, but expanded to include assets, or is there more needed?" Tron responds to Nonprofit, "Agreed, we could just mark it as depreciated on the roadmap." Hans Schmidt responds, "There were some problems this week on testnet during restricted asset testing, which caused some nodes to stop syncing. Initially, it was thought that the newest develop branch was to blame, but now it appears that it might be a race condition, which is worse on a non-statically like binaries of core. It is not yet known whether version 4.3.2.1 also has this problem. It doesn't want to fail while running in a debugger. In any case, it would be best if people ran the latest version of develop on testnet so that we can continue testing what will get released. For convenience for most people who don't want to build their own statically linked binaries, I have posted the latest development code for all platforms except Mac at github.com/hansschmidt, hans-schmidt/releases/tags/v.8.0 test1. Crawlbetter the response for testing, it would be best to specifically deny an address with a qualifier but allow it with a subqualifier, then send a restricted assets to the address. I haven't delved into code, but could it be a failed test? I haven't delved into the code, but could it be a fail fast condition? Kinkajou responds to Crawlbetter there at code tester. If any of you are available to test this week, what is the expected behavior at Crawlbetter there? At Crawlbetter there, I'm missing my tongue. Everyone's test net node will stop syncing, lol. Well, a good portion of, hold on, maybe I need some water. Let me get some water. Okay, let's try that. Rehydrate my tongue. Okay, at Crawlbetter there. No, it's not working. My tongue's dead. Everyone's test node will stop syncing, lol. Well, a good portion, assuming there's only one miner. It may be overwritten now that there's more. Just keeps logs open. Who's this person? I lay pipe. Jumps into the conversation. If I get a guide, I can dedicate some time to testing after work. Kinkajou responds, "Syncing my test net node built from develop branch now." Kinkajou responds to I lay pipe. "I can help you after I look into it myself." Crawlbetter responds, "It'll likely be a dropped node misbehaving error." Hans Schmidt responds at Crawlbetter, "Put a good overview of the problem at github.com/ravenproject/ravencoin/issues/1188. For me, an immediate reconsider block. For me, an immediate reconsider block of the failing block restarts the sync with no need to do any invalidate. It may be related to what's in the cache or how full it is, because pausing the node shortly before the expected fail and then letting it proceed also avoids the fail. Challenging to debug under those conditions." Crawlbetter responds, "I'll try some good old-fashioned print debugging. LSJIO7 response. I'm mining currently on testnet. A good 0.7 megahashes per second. Best to stop or continue to assist testing. Running testnet version 4.7.0.0-B5010492C. FDOBS test 3 and hi. Kinkajou responds to LSJIO7. I think Hans is asking that we run the current develop branch rather than test 3. I've rebuilt from develop and syncing now. LSJIO7 response swapped. Node running and mining the 4.8 binaries. Kinkajou responds, awesome. I'm going to go ahead and close this channel. We can continue in hashtag develop. Thanks for coming, everyone. And boom. Ravenites, that is over 2 hours. 2 hours of just going over the development meeting since the beginning of the year to now. If you're here this far, I mean, thank you. Just thank you. This is a lot of work. It really is. My tongue is so dead. I can't talk anymore. It's so crazy. It's so crazy, man. So if you do like my voiceovers, I would appreciate a like or subscribe, please. The Ravenites. I will see you on the next one. Until next time, stack sats and hodl. Adios.